Car brands have been collaborating since the early 1980s, and it's a known thing. It helps them with resources and they share factories. Recently, we've had the Suzuki Sways, which is basically a Toyota Corolla. In terms of a pickup, we've had the Mercedes X-Class, which is a Nissan Navara. Now, this is a Volkswagen Amarok. However, there's a massive debate on the fact that it's built on the chassis of a Ford Ranger. Volkswagen thought it was very important that they keep the essence of VW with the Amarok. So in the factory, they sent a team of German Volkswagen engineers to go and put their own spin on the Amarok. So the Ford and the Volkswagen engineers were not allowed to speak to each other throughout the process, so that everything was slightly different and they all kept their own unique taste on the car. Now, every single panel on this car is different than the Ranger, apart from the roof, which is the same. So this is the style, which basically is one of the 4 trim levels you get with the Amarok. You get the Life, you get the Style, you get the Panamericana, and you also get the Adventurer. Now, I feel like there's a car for every different need. This car, the Life, has a lot more chrome on it. We have a lot of chrome here at the front, and I think it looks really cool. So let's take a look around it before we go for a drive.
Now, visually, it does look different to the previous generation. It's a lot more modern with these really nice new lights and styling around the front. With the Style, you get more chrome and silver around the car. The wheel size varies from 17 inches to 21, and on the Style, we actually get 18-inch wheels. I'll leave you to decide which ones you'd prefer. I mean, it would all depend on the comfort and the ride of the car. At the rear, we have the 4Motion badge and LED rear combination lamps with a huge VW badge, which I don't think you're going to miss. Right, let's talk about price. So the Life starts from just over £42,000. The range topper Adventurer is just under £59,500. This car's on the road price is £50,931. That's with the extra of £600 metallic grey paint and VAT inclusive.
So the rear of the car has had some major upgrades, really. The lights are really nice, and it now has the word Amarok on the back. And you may say that's very Ford. But if you remember, the Mark 1 Caddy did have the word Volkswagen on the back. And I know Ford have done that for a long time too, but they could both be coming from both brands, so really. The payload in the Amarok is 1,060 kilograms.
And the payload in the Ranger is very similar. Both share the same amount of practicality with the payload.
The tow weight on the two cars are exactly the same. They're both 3,500 kilograms, which is pretty good for a car this size. It should be like that. Let's talk about the details of the engine that this car has. So it has a 0 to 62 time in 10.5 seconds. It's got a 2-litre TDI engine with 200 brake horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque.
Is available in a 10-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual. So get a 3-litre V6 diesel, and at the range chopper we get a 2.3-litre EcoBoost petrol, which is otherwise seen in the Mustang. Now, unfortunately, we do only get Ford engines. We don't get a Volkswagen engine in this vehicle.
This is an absolutely huge truck, and it does hang over car park spaces. It doesn't feel that big when you're driving it on the road, but the visibility in it is fantastic. We've got the window here, which is extra visibility, and also we have surrounding cameras. The only thing I do wish is that when you were driving forward, you also had those cameras. I will say one thing that really annoys me is here that the side steps, they keep getting everyone that gets in this car, their jeans really muddy because of this. There's nothing you can do about them, but you just have to pay attention.
So visually, you can see that this is completely different to the Ranger. It's been completely redesigned. The only thing that they have got is the same screen here, but they have their own software in it. And to be honest, it's been working really well. It has been a little bit laggy, but I'm not sure if that's my phone with Apple CarPlay, but I've really enjoyed it. It's got buttons here. So we've got menu, mode, we've got some safety features here, and we've also got park assist. And I haven't used that yet, but that could come in handy when you've got a car this size. We also have a secondary glove box, which the Ranger doesn't have. Quite practical, and there's lots of storage in here. There's plenty of storage. The only thing I will say is the storage down here for a big flask is a little bit small. That's my only thing with this. But I think for the trim level, it's really, really nice in here. Now, the seats are very nice. They're the sort of suede Alcantara. I don't know how practical that's going to be if you're working in this vehicle. You'd probably end up having covers on the seats because you'd want to protect them. Now, if you get a higher trim level, you can get leather, which I think would be a lot more practical than this. But although it does look nice, so it depends what you're using the car for.
So the quality in here is really nice. You can tell it's a Volkswagen, and I really like the way you open the door. When I got out of it, I kept doing it on other cars. Now we have lots of different mode options, perfect for the British weather. And also we have some really, really nice graphics that come with them. Now, I will say these graphics are most likely from the Ford because they are very similar to what the Rangers had in the past. But I'm not mad about it because this is a great feature and I really like it. You can also see there that I've got 26.8 miles per gallon. Now that's my total miles per gallon the whole time I was driving. So I drove about 400 miles, mainly around town with a few motorway trips, which I don't think's bad. You'll be pleased to know we have physical buttons on the steering wheel. Now this is a VW steering wheel and we don't get a hang up button, unfortunately. We've got the max button here where the lights are for the climate control. So it's easy to defog your windows in the morning. We have a nice selector for the 4-wheel drive system and a nice chunky gear selector with the traction control button and the hill descent as well.
Right, so I'm 5'9" for reference, and I have plenty of room here in the back. We have some nice pockets here and storage here, side pockets, and we also have a 3-point pin plug here and a 12-volt here. We also have 2 cup holders, which is really nice, and it feels like an SUV in here, I won't lie. The seats are very thin, but we can fold them down, and I'll show you now. So we can pull the base up here. It's very heavy though, a bit awkward. There you go. And we've got all the essentials here, which is super practical. You can also tie it up here so you can keep it up if you need to put stuff there. We also, this is a bit, there you go. Pull this down and you can put the seats down. Now, the seat belt you have to tie around the back there, but we haven't worked out how you can put this fully flat, and I've looked online and I can't see that either. So comment down below if you can see how you can do this, because I think you can only have it like this, which makes it a bit impractical and a bit random. So that's that really. So this car does feel very refined on the road. You don't feel like you're driving an absolutely huge pickup truck. You feel like you're driving an SUV. It feels more like a mixture of a pickup truck with the Volkswagen Touareg. You can definitely feel with the interior that it is a Volkswagen. Visibility in this car is fantastic. We've got loads of windows and massive mirrors, and the back as well is a window, which adds to the practicality of it because you can see out of the rear view mirror. Now, it's in normal, it's pretty good actually. I mean, it's pretty comfortable in normal mode. We've got all these different modes. We've got eco mode, which puts it into 2-wheel drive. I do feel like when you're in 2-wheel drive, it is more comfortable. And I apologise we are going down country roads, so it's not going to be the best quality camera, but I want to show you what it's like daily driving it. The only thing is when people come down these roads, you are a bit like, I'm huge, where do I go? You do feel almost invincible in these cars. You're like the king of the road in an absolutely huge pickup truck. I don't think it would be practical for someone like me who's got a partner and a dog and just needs a little run around. I mean, I love a 4x4, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a workhorse. It's definitely a workhorse. I mean, you can fit a pallet in the back. That's pretty cool. A whole pallet. I mean, it's so practical for someone that is working in an industry that needs it. But they are huge. They're difficult to park. However, if you are working in an industry where you need a pickup truck and you've also got kids and you need to put them in the back, you've got 2 isofixes in the back, which is super practical, plenty of room. And yeah, my niece really enjoyed being in this car. She had no complaints. She loved that she could see out so well. Yeah, I think it's really great. It's a lovely car to drive. I would be interested in driving the V6 just to see the difference. It's more of an executive pickup truck, I would say. It's definitely a workhorse. It does the job, but it does the job in a bit of luxury and a bit of refinement. And yeah, it's a refined pickup truck with an executive feel to it that feels like a Touareg. And I really enjoyed driving it this week. I've enjoyed the size of it. I just really love it. I would love a pickup truck. I've been listening to that song Rockstar. Hey, hey, I wanna be a rock star. I wanna, you know that one. And I've been listening to it really loud. And the sound system's actually really good. It's just a standard sound system. And I've just felt like a bit of a boss driving around, as pathetic as that sounds. But I enjoy driving cars, and I obviously love driving performance cars, but I love driving big sort of SUVs just as much. I think you get just as much enjoyment. And I think when a car doesn't go fast, it automatically chills you out. I mean, 0 to 62 in 10.5 seconds is by no means quick, but it's enough power for this car. And it just makes you appreciate things and go a bit slower. Now, I've shown you how it drives on road, and it's pretty impressive. It's got a lot of torque. It goes as fast as you need. But I think it's time to take it off-road now and show you how it performs in terms of comfort. So I've shown you the different modes. I think it's very muddy, so I'm going to put it into mud ruts instantly. So we have a little screen down here which shows the off-road status and the angle of each of our wheels, which is pretty cool. It's taking these mud ruts like an absolute champ. It's almost like it's nothing. And this is how this car should be. And I know a lot of you will say, if it's an off-roader, it needs to be a manual. You can get a manual in this. And with this engine, you can either get a 10-speed automatic or you can get a 6-speed manual. So it's completely up to you. And I'm glad we still have those options. But it's taken this so well. Absolutely fantastically. And these are big sort of craters filled with water. So there we have it, my review on the Amarok. I am so glad we still have this car. Volkswagen could have decided to scrap it altogether, but they didn't. They overcame the challenges they had with the car and partnered up with Ford. And you may be angry at that. I know that Volkswagen owners and Ford owners have always had a kind of rivalry. They're very different. But the actual car itself feels like Volkswagen quality. It feels like a Volkswagen through and through. The only disappointment is we don't get a Volkswagen engine. But what can you do? At least we still have the Amarok. So comment down below and let me know what you think of the Volkswagen Amarok. Is it too expensive? I don't know. It's a lot more premium. It's a lot more luxury inside than the Ranger, but we're lucky to have both options. So until next time, make sure to like, comment and subscribe and all that shebang. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.